Let's take a look at a couple problems from section 8.4. Let's start with number 10. Since it's already factored out, all I'm looking for are the zeros for these. So what can I put in for x minus 6 to give me 0? I'm going to say a 6, a 4, and a 2. I'm going to put all those numbers on a number line in the order that you would see them on a number line. And then I'm going to test some points to see if they're true or false and where it's true or false. First point I'm going to try out is at 0 over in this region. If I put in a 0, I get negative 6 times negative 4 times negative 2. If I multiply that out, I get negative 48. Is negative 48 less than or equal to 0? True. Let's try a point in here. Let's use 3. I get negative 3 because 3 minus 6 is negative 3. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. I get negative or positive 3 times 1 is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to? That's false. Let's try 5, which is in this interval. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 5 minus 2 is 3. When I multiply that out, I get negative 3. And negative 3 is less than or equal to 0. Now let's try 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. I get 15. Is 15 less than? That's false. Now, let's notice the pattern here with the values, the true or false values. They alternate true, false, true, false, true, false. The only time that's not going to be true is when we have a denominator, things that got a little bit special about denominators, and when we have two factors of the same kind, like x plus 2, x plus 2. If you have two of the same kind, then we have to test. If they're all different numbers like this one is, they're just going to alternate. So if you test one point, the rest of them will just alternate. Okay? So in this one, because we have a true and an arrow going to negative infinity, oops, we're going to use a bracket here because of the equal sign there. Union 4 to 6 bracket. Anytime there's an equal sign, we have to use brackets. Let's try another one. 31. On 31, we have the factors. Again, it's factored for us, which makes it nice. And we want to find out where these are equal to 0. We can set them equal to 0, or the shortcut we used before was opposite of this over this, so 8 over 2. Opposite of that is negative 4 over the 1, and 6. This, of course, we would simplify to a 4. So let's put those numbers on a number line in the order that you would find them on a number line. And I'm going to test the point 0. I like zeros because it makes life easy. 2 times 0 is 0 minus 8. 0 plus 4, 0 minus 6. If I multiply this out, I get a positive number that's very big. I don't really care what it is, but I know that it's positive. It's not going to be less than or equal to 0, so it's going to be false in here. Now, just like I said on the last example, they're going to alternate. So the interval next to the false interval would be the true interval. Next to the false is true. Next to the true is false. So all I had to do is check one point to find out if this was true or false. And then I'm going to write my intervals from negative infinity to negative 4. Remember, because of the equal sign, we're using a bracket. Union 4 to 6. Okay, let's try 32. It says 3x minus 12 x plus 5, 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. Remember, the equal to means that there's going to be brackets in our answer. And let's find out where our zeros are. Opposite of this over this gives me 12 over 3. The opposite of 5 is negative 5 over 1. And 3 over 2. This one I'm going to simplify to a 4 because 12 thirds is the same as 4. Let's put these on a number line in the order that you would find them on a number line. And I want to test 0. And 0 makes life easy for me, so I'm going to say 3 times 0 is 0. I get negative 12. 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. If I multiply, I get 120. No, 160. 180. Is 180 greater than or equal to 0? True. Now, I can test the other intervals if I want to, just to check my math. But I also know, since there's no doubles, no factors that are the same, that it's going to alternate true, false, true, false. And then my interval, since it's the equal, is going to be from negative 5 to 3 halves, union 4 to infinity. We never put a bracket on an infinity. Let's try another one. Let's try number, let's do 38. 38, they give me 16x to the 4th minus 40x squared plus 9 is less than or equal to 0. When I factor that, or multiply my a times c, I'm going to try and factor this, I get 144. Factors of 144 that add up to negative 40. Oh boy, let's try so the factors would be negative 36 and negative 4. Let's split our middle term into negative 36x squared, negative 4x squared plus 9. Group the first two together, group the second two together, put a plus sign in between. Greatest common factor here appears to be a 4x squared, leaving me with 4x squared minus 9. Pulling out a negative 1 leaves me with 4x squared minus 9. Regrouping that, I get 4x squared minus 9 times 4x squared minus 1. And these are difference of squares pattern. If you remember back to our factoring days, two terms, both squared with a minus sign in between it. Let's factor those. Square root of my first term is going to be 2x in both front positions. Square root of 9 in both back positions. One is plus, one is minus. Same thing for here. Square root of the first term is 2x. Square root of the last term is 1. One is plus, one is minus. So now when we go to find our actual zeros, opposite of this over this would give me negative 3 over 2. Opposite of negative 3 over 2. Opposite of 1 over 2. Opposite of negative 1 over 2. So if we put all these numbers on a number line in the order that you would find them on a number line, oops, that one's a plus. All right, again, I want to test 0. Now, if I go all the way back up to my original, 0, because if x is 0, anything times 0 is 0. This is 0. So all I have is 9 less than or equal to 0. False. So I know at 0, this is false. And I also know that it alternates. So this would be false. That would make that one true and that one true. And then next to the trues would both be falses. So the only two intervals that are true are from -3/2 to -1/2, union +1/2 to 3/2. Good luck.